have children here who are hungry, who are talented, and need just that opportunity to bloom and flourish. And we don't have that professional, again, creative space to nurture these talents. And so for me, COVID was a blessing for us, I'll just say.
Welcome to my channel, everyone. Today I'm talking with Vivian, and I'm super, super excited for you to hear her story and her journey in Ghana and to share that with us. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch this interview today with Vivian. I'm so honored to have you here. Thank you so much, and good afternoon to you because you're in Ghana right now.
Yes, good afternoon, Rose. Thank you for having me on this wonderful platform.
You're welcome. Thank you for accepting it. And so this conversation really is for us to hear about your journey, your story, and how we can also get inspired to start our own stories. So if you could do me the honors of just introducing yourself to us shortly.
Okay, so my name is Vivian Boateng. I am a dancer, an actor. I teach ballet. I'm currently a certified American ballet theater teacher and also acrobatic arts certified teacher, although I don't practice it. And I run Vivie's Dance Factory, which is a dance and drama school for children and young people. And it's there to champion young people, to empower them through the performing arts. And that has been my dream for years as a young person. I saw a lot of children all over the world doing amazing stuff. And for most of us, we didn't get, that foundation, that professional foundation to help us to find our talent and nurture that talent professionally. Mm-hmm. So it became a burden and a dream for me to create that space for children and young people in Ghana to have that experience, to find their path quickly. And so that's why Vivie's Dance Factory was birthed. So yes, that's just me.
I love that. Absolutely amazing. Because as you said, there's so many talented kids around the world, but they lack that foundation. And as we go on this conversation, I would love to hear even more about, how you got into that career, because coming from an African background, creative arts is not where our parents, push us into. And it's not like the best news when they hear this is what we want to do. So I'd love to go into that as we continue our conversation, but take us back a little bit to Vivian as a child. How, you're a Ghanaian. From the name, I can tell, or at least you're married to a Ghanaian. Could you tell us your background, what you know?
Well, I grew up in Koforidua. I was born in Koforidua, which is in the eastern region of Ghana. And though I'm from the Volta region, my origin is from the Volta region. That's where my roots is. So I'm an Ewe. Yes, my mother and father are from Agoti-Mekpetoe, the Kente weaving town. So we have Kumasi and we have the Kumasi Kente and we have the Ewe Kente. And it's in my hometown that we make the Ewe Kente. So that's where I come from. But I grew up in Koforidua and went to school in Nana Kwaku Boateng Experimental, so typical local government school. And yes, and then went to Okwapiman Secondary School and finally found myself at University of Ghana, pursuing the performing arts. Okay. But it wasn't like that from the beginning. I wanted to become a doctor. I always saw my sister wearing her uniform and it was so nice. And I always liked taking care of people. As a child, I was very, I had a soft spot for people who were sick and who couldn't help themselves. So I would always go there, clean up their space. And if I have to cook something for them or go and buy something for them, just help. Mm-hmm. Anytime we went in school, anytime we did drama, I was always, because my sister, had the nurse uniform and all that, I always, play that role, wear the uniform, and it's just, you know how it is when you wear the uniform, so much inside there. So all I saw was, okay, I want to become a doctor, and I like taking care of animals too, pets, so I said, okay, either a veterinary doctor or something. That was my childhood dream. Until secondary school, when I realized I was struggling, I pursued science in secondary school. I realized I was struggling in there. And so my mom asked me, okay, Vivian, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I find my passion in the arts at that point, because anytime there's drama or there's dance, I would join in church, at school. And she said, then go for it if that's what you want to do. And my big sister was quite disappointed because I said I wanted to be a doctor. And then all of a sudden, you want to act, you want to dance. Hey, what is that? Like you have backslidden, like I'm going to dance. You saw it as like very. But she supported me when she saw me in church doing what I love to do and using it to preach or to tell a message or to tell a story. And she said, oh, we will support you. So that was where the game changed for me and my direction changed. But again, growing up, it was really the arts that gave me a voice. It was the dance and the drama because I was very timid. I had really low self-esteem, but that was what really gave me some confidence. So that's my childhood.
Thank you for sharing that. And I see how pivotal it was. Your mom played an important role there. A lot of our parents, and us ourselves, I'm a mom right now. It's, we have dreams for our kids, but we forget that our kids have dreams for themselves. And it's really important and it's great that your mother was able to ask you that question. My mom at that point in time also asked me that question. What do you want to do? Yeah. And what are you passionate about? And we're grateful that she asked you that question because that's what's made, chosen, it helped you to choose the path you chose. And so take us through, you went to university, did all of that. Did you move abroad? How did that happen? How did your career take off? Because it's one thing studying what you love, but there's another and actually, getting a career into that.
Yeah. So this is where everything changed for me. In 2008, that was in my second year at the university. We had a team coming to the school to recruit some of us, like students who are interested in teaching children ballet, so that they can train us to teach. And I saw ballet when I was much younger, on TV, and I was fascinated by it. So anytime we had a chance to come to the big city, which is Accra, I'll buy books. I saw books on ballet. I'll just buy and go and read and try to practice in my room. So when I heard ballet, I was so excited. I said, yeah, one, I love teaching children because I was teaching the Sunday school. And two, I love ballet. So, how awesome. So I quickly joined. We were about 60 something. And we went through auditions and numbers cut down till there was just 4 of us. And finally, and that was where my professional training started in ballet. And that was where, again, it gave me a broader overview of what really the arts could do. Because although I was a student at the School of Performing Arts and I knew that I'd gained confidence through this, I could speak through this, I didn't even know that I didn't have that realization that children could be transformed so much through just dance. So it was through my training at Mandiforica Dance Academy that I realized that, and it was really it's only the elites and, the diplomats kids who could afford that, so I was there for 6 years and I saw how children came in for various reasons, some for coordination, some to build their confidence. And I said, no, wow, every Ghanaian child should experience this. So when I left to do my PhD, my master's degree, and also to have my second child, because I had my first child within that 6 years, and it really affected my work because I was twins and there was discordance in growth. I had to stop teaching. It really was a tough one. Yeah. Through those crises, I decided that vision, that I yearned for, started coming back to me, that Vivian, it's time to take this to the schools, to the children who can't really afford it, who, want this. So that is really where that path started for me, the realization that this actually can be something I can do. So I started looking out for opportunities to train some more. And then 2016, I applied for ABT, American Ballet Theater teacher training. I got in, but I didn't get the visa. So my husband was then doing his master's in Munich, Germany. So I went to visit him and I took the chance to take teachers one-on-one for training to assess me, to see where I am technique-wise, to see how I can develop my talent or in ballet. So really, it started like that, going to schools, after school program. And I noticed that we had great talents in Ghana, children, amazing abilities. But the school was, again, structure wasn't helping, because day in and day out, you have new students joining, old students don't get a chance. There was no structure, let me put it that way. So now the desire again to have a creative space where children can come in, get structured program where they can progress, became the next thing. And by 2017, I built a team who were passionate again, also just like me, to see something happen. And this is how far we've come with this.
It's like, it's giving me chills on so many levels. First, there's a lot of things that that I can relate to when it comes to birthing a child or children and birthing an idea. For me, and I found that for a lot of women that I speak to who are mothers, motherhood kind of gives them the chance to become a mother of children, but also a mother of projects for many. Yeah. For some reason, that responsibility of a new life gives you a broader perspective on wanting to do bigger things, not just for your child, but for other children or for other people. Would you say that motherhood had a role to, you did say that period, because it forced you to slow down your career, but also what was happening in your mind that you, at that particular time, you wanted to do this?
So at that point, because I went on bed rest, and really payment was, okay, you are paid as you teach. So it became, it got to a point I had to be in hospital, because I was losing one child, and I had to stay in one place because I was too busy. So they said food wasn't getting to one child. So it was all of a sudden, money ceased coming to me. And all those times in the hospital, now I ended up having a pre-me, one child eventually died. And so they had to do emergency CS to get the other child out, who was like less than a kilogram. She was 900 grams. All those moments, when you're alone and now you're forced to think, okay, what can I do? At this point, I am left with no job, with nothing. No, I had to go back to within me, okay, what do you have? Said, okay, this is what in fact, one night I just woke up, I started praying, I said, God, what do I do? Where do I start from? I have nothing. And then I just picked a notebook. I started writing what I'm good at. I used to, prepare fruit salad to sell. And I love salads, fruit salad, just all types of salads. So I used to make salads and fruit salad for the gyms. I'll distribute it in the various gyms. So that was one thing I said, okay, I'll continue to do. And then the next thing was, I said, okay, my dance, how do I then say, okay, this is a time I can go into the schools and start teaching it. Okay, there are some schools at the end of the year, they want someone to come and choreograph for them. Said, I went to the School of Performing Arts. I did my master's in, I hadn't done my master's. So it was just my Bachelor of Fine Arts. So I started writing down, okay, I can start going to the schools, write a proposal and see what I can do. Because I have all these years I've been with this company, I've seen how these rich kids come in and they are transformed. So let's do that for children who can't afford the dollars and all that, who need this. So I started going into these schools, I started teaching, then the name spread, that's why we've heard of this woman, she's very disciplined with her time and her work, and she's serious about her work, so word spread like that, from one school to 2 to 3 to 4. And very soon I had quite a number to put on a show. So it was in my crisis moments that I had to go back to see that there's always been that dream of working with children, but how? Okay, so this is how, when I didn't have anything, I had to look within to say that, what talent do I have? What skill do I have? Now let's put it to some good use. There are children out there who need that, who need to build some confidence, who need to channel that energy into something positive. And so the work started for me.
Oh my God, amazing. And I'm so grateful for you and for that, you know, the fact that as you were going through such a difficult crisis, that, you know, you were able to dig deep within yourself and see what can I do to, in a way, fulfill my destiny, and also, I don't know, like really do something that can impact other children's lives as well. And I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much. So thank you.
Yeah.
Take us.
Yeah, it's been a fulfilling journey for me, you know, watching children come in and hearing parents talk about, my child was very like that and wouldn't even say anything, but now I see her very free. You know, I see all these young girls saying that they're managing, they are now, you know, very much responsible because they have to manage, but know how to manage their time and how to manage coming into the dance class and all that. And I see a lot of them that I taught when they were 5 years now in the secondary school and really fully expressing themselves and taking on leadership roles in school because dance has given them that platform to just believe in themselves because my body can do this, you know. It's just fulfilling, and I'm happy I took this call to really do it. The journey has not been easy, but we are changing lives, so why not? We'll keep doing it. This is what brings us fulfillment.
Yeah. Amazing. So you mentioned that you went to Munich, you got, you know, training here and there. Were you able to eventually go to the US, get that visa to do it all elsewhere? How did you continue that certification?
So, my journey has all been, I always say it's been a miracle. And anytime I look back, I just say how God just orchestrates things and order my steps. I mean, I can't take God out of this. And it's not sheer luck. I just see him ordering my steps really and throwing light on my path. So after 5 years of throwing away that dream of getting the certification, because again, I didn't get a visa. What I was doing was actually paying for teachers to come to Ghana to train me and the team that I had, you know, so that we can continuously give professional and proper ballet technique. I believe in professionalism, not just doing anything. So I don't mind pouring all my money into trainings. So that was what we were doing. And also working towards getting the right certification, that because I can't obviously also leave my family and everything and go to the UK to do RAD, which is about 3 years and all that. So this is what happened. 2020, COVID happened. And Gabe Stoneshare from American Ballet Theatre, he's a soloist there, reached out because the whole world was on the internet now, because everybody was home. You know, he sent an email that his grandmother who raised him is from Ghana, and she died, but he always wanted to connect back to his roots. So he'll be happy to teach, you know, some of our students and our teaching. I said, why not? So through that connection, he was teaching some of us through Zoom, and he said, you know what, I'm going to talk to ABT to see if we can get you a scholarship. I said, okay. I was there one day, he just called over Zoom and said, Vivian, ABT has agreed to give you a scholarship to do your ABT teacher training. I said, God. And he said, but if you do this and you do it well, you will get to be affiliated with ABT.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, oh my God, I was shaking. So yes, that's how it happened. And I took the exam. So I went through the training last year in March, took the exam, failed the first time, went back. I said, no, I'm not letting this opportunity go. Because I took a break. I stopped teaching ballet since 2018 when I got pregnant with my third child. I took a break. And so when this opportunity came and they said, I wanted to push my teachers to actually go for it. And he said, no, they said the director should do it. You know, because I had lost that confidence in teaching ballet again. So it was difficult for me to get back in there. So I had to take it on. I went again, and then I sat up at night to work and to train. And the second time I took the exams, the training exam, I passed, I got my certification. And now we are working on getting our first batch of students next year to do the exams. And in the next 3 years, if we continue to send in students to do the exams and pass, we get affiliated with ABT.
Amazing.
That was how it happened. And it wasn't just ballet, acrobatic arts too. In 2019, I applied to go to the UK to do my acrobatic arts exams. I mean, teacher training and exams. And I didn't get the visa to go to the UK. But guess what? COVID. So they also came on board. They brought their training online, and not just me, but I got 3 of my teachers too. I paid for them to do their certification as well. And everybody passed with excellence. And this year, we had 32 of our students taking the acrobatic arts exams, and all 32 got distinction.
Oh my God.
They were surprised. You know, when we told them that, how do they ship our medals? They said, you know what, only those who get distinction will get medals. We'll email your certificates to you so you can print it for them. And we said, what if all 32 get distinction? He said, well, not all, not everyone is able to get distinction. You don't just get distinction like that.
You don't know us.
So you have no, and all 32 got distinction. So we had to ship those medals here, you know.
Amazing. Oh,
and that should tell you that we have children here who are hungry, who are talented, and need just that opportunity to bloom and flourish. And we don't have that professional, again, creative space to nurture these talents. And so for me, COVID was a blessing for us, I'll just say. Because guess what? How many, I couldn't have afforded to take all 4 of us to the UK to do our certification, to book for flights, accommodation, all these things. We just got everything. And so, yeah.
Oh, amazing. Really, such a nice and inspirational journey, because, you know, a lot of people, first of all, think that there's no opportunities in Africa, that you have to be outside to get the chance. And it's true and not true at the same time, but you didn't stop there. When you got a no for the visa, you found another way. And I love how you've kept going, with your pregnancy, with that crisis there. You hadn't taught for so many years. You could have said, you know what, I don't think I can do this. Let someone else do it. But you took your courage into your own hands and said, I'm going to do it again. You failed the first time, but went again. And I haven't done ballet, but I've looked at it and I know how harsh the training is. Oh my God. Like, the toenails, the way your nails will hurt in your feet, and just, wow, the discipline. So to be able to do that after becoming a mother for the 3rd time, I know how pregnancy puts a strain on your body. So going through that and then doing this training, congrats to you, really.
Thank you.
An achievement, yeah, wow. Yeah. And being able to change so many people. You've changed not just one life, but many, 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 many lives by being able to do this. So thank you for not giving up.
Yeah, always. We cannot give up. And I keep telling my team, we've come too far to give up. And when we see where we are going, we can't give up. That really, where I see us going is what keeps driving me. You know, it's like, Vivian, you can't give up right now. See all these children coming into the space and being transformed. You can't give up now. Now, we've employed over 20 people who, in the few years ago, didn't know they could make a living from teaching, dance.
Yeah.
But they've made a career out of it, and they're excelling and they are progressing through it. He said, we can't give up until we reach every corner in Africa and in Ghana. We haven't finished the work. And for me, the dream is to build an institution where children can continue to train, because that's the point where we are. When they get to secondary school, they go to school and then it ends there. Although at this point, it's not just the skill, they are building that teamwork, they are building that discipline, which is helping them. It's not just the dance or just the drama aspect, but they are building these 21st century skills, creative thinking and all that. We also want to create that opportunity for those who want to really take it as a career to continue the training. And we want to get to the point where we know that we have enough Ghanaians or people in Ghana who are well equipped and have all the qualities to the highest level. We don't need to continue to bring people in or to pay them to teach us. We'll get to that point where we are self-sufficient and we have everything it takes to train the next generation.
Beautiful. You know, I'd like to talk a little bit about the world of ballet. Living and being born in Europe and raised in Europe, ballet is a very white environment, at least not only because I live in Europe, but just in the world. When you see on world stages, it's a very white world and a very tough world as well. And how is it that, you know, in Ghana it has been perceived, because little Black girls here that want to go into ballet, it doesn't, you know, it's very difficult for them to push through into their careers because of body shape. We have a certain body shape that makes it that our, you know, we have certain forms that makes it difficult. How have you, because you're in Ghana, how have you guys been experiencing that? Do you see that on, because here it's a very wide stage, and obviously in Ghana it's a very mixed and mostly African stage. How are you getting the resources, and how are you able to still make it African or make it feel as if it's inclusive? Yeah, that's what I want to.
Yeah. So we have, we're not just doing it in isolation. One thing that ABT also preached is inclusion. The American Ballet Theatre curriculum talks about inclusion, and even in their curriculum. So it's not just a syllabus. Syllabus is like exercise to a particular music. But ABT, so they thought about all these things when they were creating their curriculum, that, you know what, different body types want to do ballet. So let's create a curriculum that, you know, where we look at the dancer, you know, the healthy dancer, as not just white or in a particular shape or size, but one that can use our curriculum. Let's train our teachers to be able to use our curriculum to teach any whatever body types that they meet. So that's one thing I love about the ABT curriculum, that it's made with everyone in mind, you know. So and then we have the global ballet teachers. So we're, like I said, we are not just doing our own thing, which is directed. The global ballet teachers is being chaired by Cecilia Ailisiu. She's a principal dancer at the Pacific Northwest Ballet. And we've just started another program that, you know, takes us all from our folk dance. So in Ghana, I had to share our folk dance with them, where dance started, how it's evolved, you know. So we want to bring it, we want to go to the roots of dance and look at the history of ballet and how it's even evolved, and look at our Ghanaian dances and how they have evolved, and see where we can, you know, where there are similarities and where there are the differences, and where we can fuse it in. I am a storyteller. I want to tell stories with my body. I want to be able to express myself in a way that my Ghanaian Adowa and Agbaja will limit me. I want to be able to tell stories in different ways with my body. And that's why I'm always fascinated about this acrobatics and this ballet and all that, you know, because I want to be able to tell stories without inhibition. That's where the angle I take this from. So children who come in here, we're not, you know, beating them to you know, be in line with a certain system, but they finding their own bodies, you know, using ballet as an expression of themselves. So
I love that. I love that. You know, I've always looked at ballet as people who learn, you know, little girls want to learn ballet, fine. But then when I see secondary school or even older women or girls, I always thought, oh, they're probably doing it because they want to go into a career of becoming a ballet dancer. I never thought of it as a dancing solely for the expression of yourself, and also for the discipline you talked about, the, you know, the confidence building. Because I don't know why, when I thought about ballet, I always thought people who do ballet just want to become ballerinas. But I never thought.
Always, yeah, what you were saying.
I think it's beautiful that, you know, it's just a form of creativity, and so every child that shows interest in, you know, dance, or not just wants to try it out, and even as adults, as a form of self-expression, should go into and just see it as not just looking like, okay, this is what ballet is, but ballet is whatever you want to make it in a way. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So how has ballet been received in Ghana? Because again, it's a very Western thing, or dance style, or creativity. What I mean by how have Ghanaians received it, I mean as in shows. Is it mainly, do you think that it's mainly, because now you're working with children, not only with from rich families and diplomats, but you're working with children from all backgrounds. How are their parents receiving it, you know, for shows and things like that? As a Ghanaian society, do you feel like there's more and more interest to such dance and forms of expressions?
Yes, the market is there. People are really interested in the ballet. You know, you receive calls. We want someone to come and teach, you know, our school, our students of ballet. You know, parents will call. We want someone to. I see my child. You always tiptoeing, and I don't know what, and twirling. I think she has that interest. You know, we want her to, you know, take it on or get training. The interest is there because again, now the world is now a global village. You know, for the little ones. I think when they see it on TV in the pink, the tutus, and it's fascinating for them. It's beautiful. So they are drawn, and you know, by just that sheer beauty of it. When it gets to, when they have moved from just the pre-primary twinkle tutus, kicking, spelling, to when it's beginning to become a serious stuff. Mm-hmm. That's when the girls are separated from the women. That's when all the fanciful things, you know, clears from their eyes. They say, oh, it's not hard anymore. Now it's becoming, you know, more difficult combinations and all that. So at that point, usually between age 8 to 12 or 13, some of them want to give up. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the fun has cleared. And those who really want to take it, because it challenges them, it brings them some sense of fulfillment that they've been able to do this and achieve, because you can't do it anyhow. Mm-hmm. Social dance that you just do it anyhow and you're not going to be, you know, you have to do it in a particular way. That discipline, like, well, you can't do mediocre, you have to do it this way. That challenge, you know, so you end up getting a few of them really taking it higher and higher to the next level. And that's where we get to see those who really want this. And for some, those who were just, okay, came to pass to help them to, you know, they've learned what they have to learn. Okay, I'm moving on to the next fun thing. So really, it's been received in different ways. We have others too who say, well, we're in Ghana, why ballet? Why ballet? You know, why don't you teach them our dua and all that? And I said, well, we are teaching it all at the dance factory. We have it all. We have the African dance classes. But ask me, how many of you sign up for it? Out of the over 300 students we have in the studios, we have about 3, only 3 doing African dance. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. So why is that, do you think that? Because that's Ghana. That's not even here. How come in Ghana people don't show that much interest to, you know, our cultural dances anymore? What do you think that could be the reason?
Several reasons. So for the past years, what I gathered, because I tried my best. I mean, when I didn't want just ballet for me as a dance school. So what I started doing, before I even answer your question, I just a little backstory. Mm-hmm. Bringing, you know, children, traditional dance groups in Ghana to come and perform, you know, our traditional dances during our Sparkle Day performances, so that parents, it will entice the young ones and even parents to sign them up. So every year they were part of our shows, and that didn't change much. Then I said, okay, why not make it a package? When you sign up for ballet, you get to take African dance for free. It didn't work. And then another person said, you know, because again, I was lecturing at the university. So I was sharing this with other lecturers as well to see, how do we make our dances attractive? Mm-hmm. And someone said, well, so all these suggestions came from there. So I decided to try them. Said, well, if you are not charging, then they'll think it's cheap. That's why, or whatever. People want to place value on or something. Again, there was that, opinion. So I said, okay, now let's charge. Let's charge the same amount and see. Still, the numbers wasn't going up. So we said, well, we'll just maintain it like that. It's there. If people want to sign up and train, fine. But what I gathered was this, you see, there's that, again, I don't know, but mindset that it's Ghanaian dances or African dances fetish or some sort. I've heard that before, where people think it's fetish, it's Christian, let me put it that way. So they would even let the children do it. I don't know where again it goes back into how we've been programmed and how we've been raised to think that everything from us is evil or is good, and everything out there is good. Really, so while in my own reflection, those are the things that I think about, that maybe it could be that. So I spoke to my team. I said, how can we come up with a curriculum for our own Ghanaian dances as well? Because ballet, everything is broken down to the minimal, like that
move.
So I said, well, let's try that. But again, it comes with resources and all that, because you can't just do it in isolation. You have to go to the roots where it is and get all that. So it's a lot of, again, work and money, but our institutions are also not doing it. So, and me as an individual, I can't do everything. So I put it as a challenge to the School of Performing Arts. I said, this is something you should consider. Create a curriculum for our Ghanaian dancers that can be taught to children. And let's see. And usually after you've taught them at the Adwa, then what next? What next? And that's another thing I see, because when it comes to ballet, it can, ballet and even other dances, there are levels to it. You never stop learning it. There are different techniques to it until, it can take you about 8 years to learn the full curriculum. Now, once somebody is done learning the Adwa, then what? Should they move on to the Volta region to learn Agbaja, or what? How do we make it so attractive and so engaging? Because most of the times I go to see our performances, and they are the dances. I learned all these dances in school, all our Ghanaian dances in school. And I watch them as, openers, performing, a group comes to perform. And is that the same Achagbeko that I learned in school that I'm seeing? So I remember going to one such show with Professor Kopa from, I think, one of these universities in New York. And he said, Vivian, I realized that you're on your phone the whole time. Why? Is it because you've seen it over and over again? I said, yeah, there's nothing new to it now. It's like I'm used to it. I know how to dance it. It's the same thing. I'm not seeing anything fresh coming through. So again, I don't know. There are a few things that I have picked. And so I asked even my teacher here that how do we make, can we make the dances more, maybe tell a story with it, maybe do something with it, instead of just, okay, Adwa in isolation, Agbaja in isolation. Can we tell a story with it, with the same techniques and movement, use it to tell a story? And then people will begin to maybe see it differently.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's a beautiful challenge to throw. And I wish that a lot of people watching that will watch, if there are any who are passionate about dance and African dance, or, dancing in general, and want to, help and support and brainstorm together, they should definitely reach out to you, because I think that it's part of our African identity. And as you said, it's a mindset thing. If we cannot learn to appreciate what is from us, we're actually saying we don't like ourselves. And that touches to a lot of things. So it starts with us. If we cannot learn to appreciate what is ours, there's a problem. There's a big problem behind that. So I hope that's something. And I'm surprised to hear that you said that, there's no structure, there's no curriculum been made for these. Like, hello, how is that possible? So I hope that, the institutions will help, and that you will get help and support along the way, because as you said, this is a huge project. You cannot do it on your own, and you shouldn't, you know. It's a collaborative thing. And as soon as I get to Ghana, I will definitely sign up to come and do these dances and bring my daughter and son, because I absolutely love dance. I dance kizomba myself, and I recently signed up for Cuban salsa just for the fun of it. I learned that dancing is therapeutical to me.
Yes, yeah.
And I remember when I first started dancing kizomba, I realized, oh my God, I always knew I loved dancing, but I realized, oh my God, it's stress. It helps me to de-stress. And that was completely different. As a woman, I was used to, I'm a bit of a control person. Like, I like to do things my way, and I like to be in charge, type A a little bit. And I learned that with kizomba or ballroom dancing, where the man is the leading person, it helped me to relax because I didn't have to do anything. Well, I just had to follow the lead. And I realized that just the movement of me just following the lead mentally allowed me to also relax and say, oh, I don't have to do anything. I could just let someone else hold the reins now and just, be guided. I was like, oh my God, what a weird way for me to have found relaxation. And so I love the technique and getting better and all of that. And recently I decided, I haven't really been doing anything for myself. It would be nice to pick up dance again, but at a, professional. So someone teaching me and not just dancing for fun, but getting better at it. So I know how dance has been able to transform me and make my life, more enjoyable. So I wish that not only children, but adults will sign up for your class. Do you work with adults, by the way?
We work with adults, yes. We work with adults as well. On Wednesday evenings, it's West African dance styles. On Thursdays and Fridays, Afrobeat, all for adults, evenings, Saturday morning also, so we have quite a few adults coming through and just
amazing. I know 2 professional dancer teachers as well in the US. One I have met personally. I've worked with her for my yearly retreats that I do in Ghana. She's a yoga teacher and also a dancer from Haiti. And she did West African dances. And there's another one that I know through social media. She's a Ghanaian from the US, and she has danced on different stages. She specializes in West African dances. And I hope by connecting you to a few people, maybe you guys can come up with something and promote it and make it more attractive, and hopefully, have more than 3 students doing our local dance. Yeah. The ballet is amazing. I think it's great, and people should keep doing it because, as you said, it really helps with the discipline. And I think, that part of it is good for our young women growing up to build that self-confidence, that leadership skills, that perseverance and resilience and all of that. So thank you so much for that. Could you tell us a little bit about the different offerings now? Like, if someone wants to, work with you, what are your current services? How, do you work with schools? How do individuals work with you? Yeah.
Okay, so we have our academy, which is in 3 terms. So we have we run with the school curriculum. Yes, so 3 terms in a year. And it's on weekends, on Saturdays, or weekday after school, depending on what their schedule is. For children 18 months and above, and for up to adults. So it's for everyone. Everyone is welcomed. And we have ballet, we have hip hop, we have Afrobeat, we have contemporary dance, we have acrobatics. We have, and so for those who want to take it, seriously, take the exams, there's that option. Those who just want to come and do it because they want to challenge or, take that goal off their bucket list, they can do that. And like I said, we have the adult class as well. So for people who are interested, we have our African dance classes also, and musical theater and drama. Drama, I bought the franchise for Helen O'Grady Drama Academy curriculum. So we run the Helen O'Grady, which is also in about 40 countries. So just again, to give our children that, again, connection wherever they find themselves in any part of the world, there's something that, I'm doing in Ghana, I'm doing Vivie's Dance Factory, and I can find it in South Africa, I can find it in UK, I can find it anywhere I go. So giving that opportunity where they are on the same platform with everyone, and we don't have to apologize to our children that because you're in Ghana, you can't have these opportunities and resources. So these are the things that we teach.
Amazing, amazing. Could you tell us a little bit about, because you mentioned, setting up, working with the different teachers, doing the certifications. What has been one of the major highlights since you started, your work in Ghana with the students at this level? Could you share some of the major highlights with us?
Highlights, what would I say? I would say that our end of year shows are always the icing on the cake for all of us. Sparkle Day, we call it, and we perform it at the National Theatre, which is the biggest in Ghana. And this year we had over 250 students performing at the National Theatre. And for them, again, it's part of our way of building confidence, performing before an audience, And for most of them, it becomes a part of their, something that they can show when they want scholarships to go to school and all that. It's a big one for us. And again, our students, all our 32 students getting distinction in their acrobatic arts exams was also really a big highlight for us this year. And getting Gaby Stone Shea to come from ABT to Ghana this year, and we were featured in Vogue magazine.
Oh my God.
Was another big highlight for us. And just recently, for World Ballet Day, I got to speak on BBC News, about ballet in Ghana. And Cecilia is coming to Ghana this December, again, for our annual ballet teacher training. So it's been a wonderful year, I must say, and it can only get better.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations on all those huge, achievements. And when is your Sparkle Day, as you call it? Because it's happened already this year.
It's happened already this year. So now we do it every other year. It takes a lot of money to put it together and a lot of planning. So we're going to focus on exams and then do a talent show for our students. So they get to prepare something to come and showcase. They'll have to audition, something quite different. And then the year in 2024, we'll have another Sparkle Day where every child gets to perform at the National Theatre. And I also, I failed to mention that during our summer breaks, that's July and August, we run summer workshops also. So intensive 2 weeks training in all these activities I mentioned. So people who can travel to Ghana for the summer can always bring their children.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that that's really a nice opportunity. When you're traveling to Ghana with your kids, you can already sign them up so that you get a little bit of, that's amazing. If you were to put a message out there to get any kind of support, what would it be? Could you share with us ways that people can support and help? Things that you're like, oh, this would be amazing.
Our biggest challenge now is space. Currently, where we are renting, we are paying dollars, and you know how a cedi and dollar is currently. We don't charge in dollars because we want, the average income Ghanaian parent to be able to afford what we do. So that's been a tough one. So really, it's our prayer that we get our own space where we don't have to always sweat and cry for to find a way to keep this sustainable. So that's biggest challenge. I don't know, we are still looking and praying that hopefully somebody will see the vision and say, hey, this is something I want to invest in. I want this to continue. So that's something we are really praying for. And we currently with the space we have, again, we are trying, the numbers are growing. We are trying to, again, because it's not for us, we can't do any permanent structure with this. So it's also really, so again, it all boils down to the space. And if we have volunteers, people who want to give back and want to come and do exchange programs, teach our students, maybe invite our students, to come, give them that exposure to come and perform or workshop with them or their institution, we will be happy to give them that. Our junior dance company. So this is a group of children between 8 and 15 who have expressed great interest in pursuing, arts and using arts to tell stories and again, address social issues. As company is also for that. We address social issues through our performances. We did addiction, and next year we are hoping to take addiction on a tour. Again, it's all money. So all the support that we can get, if we can get a bus that will be taking the junior and senior dance company team on a tour to the secondary schools to to perform and to counsel the young ones on addiction, in various forms, addiction to drugs, to social media, how we take social media and take everything in. So that's what the arts to do, to perform and then talk to young people one-on-one and counsel them. The last time we launched it, somebody said, look, I was addicted to pornography. By watching this, it's like you were preaching to me, just changed me. Yeah. To be able to do that more and more. So our support is welcome.
Amazing. And, I really want to I always say also as a coach, if you're creating something and putting it out there, you want to make it easy for the people who want to support or pay to be able to find it easily. Because when people have to circle around, they eventually don't do it. Okay. You have a GoFundMe account or a donations account or something already set up that people can donate to, whether financially, if so, please share that with me so that I can share that here, and people who are touched and like they want to contribute financially to hopefully helping you guys to find a bigger place, land of your own, build your own place. That would be amazing. And secondly, how can people contact you if they want to come and volunteer? Because I have a couple of people in mind already that I know that if I speak to them about your project, they'll be amazed. They would love to come and volunteer their time as teachers. Could they email you or anything? So please share that with us right now. How can people get in touch?
So we're currently working on our NGO bit, which again is in direction with the social performances in our communities. So this number is what I'll put out there. I think these days people are able to send funds through the numbers. So +233, because that's the Ghana code. So 0242. So if you have to add the +233, then you have to remove the 0. Yeah. So 242 153 967. So 0242 153 967. And Vivie's Dance Factory at gmail.com. Vivie's Factory at gmail.com. The mail will come straight to me, and we'll be happy for all the support that we can get all around the world so we can continue to do and give back to our community and enrich our society.
Amazing. I am so excited. And I know that a lot of people will be touched by this story and would want to support. So after this interview, definitely I'll put all the details in the description box. I will also speak with you and see if we can set up a GoFundMe account for those of us outside, because people here cannot, some can use a platform to do mobile money from here, but a GoFundMe will make it so much more global. And that's something that I can commit to support you with to set up. And so I'll be honored to help you make this dream a reality. Could you tell us about what we can expect the coming 6 months to a year? What is some of the things that are in store for your dance factory?
All right. Okay. So in March, let's start from March. So apart from the exams that the Academy is doing, in March, I'm directing the, so we want to revive addictions, and then there's another performance that we're working on with children for young people. 20th March is World Day of the Theatre for Children and Young People. So we have these two performances coming up. Audition will be up on 7th in January. So we'll have these young people coming in to audition and then to share this during that, because we again, it happens all over the world, but it doesn't happen in Ghana. So we want to start creating that awareness. And we have addiction to that we want to take on a tour, as I mentioned. Again, it's all boiled down to how well it's received during the World Theatre for Children and Young People and how much support we get. Then we will just hit the ground running. And by June, once our exams is done, we have our talent show by all our young people who are looking for an avenue to just express their skills. We have that also happening. And summer workshop, which will happen in July, August. So quite a lot of things lined up for 2023. And we're excited about all of them. Yeah,
I'm excited for them, for you. And thank you so much for sharing your story and journey with us. Is there anything else you'd like to say to someone who's watching this, young or adult, and thinking, there's something that is in me that I want to pursue, but I don't think there's a chance in it. I don't think there's even a career in it, to be honest. And I'm at the brink of giving up, maybe. What would you tell that person?
Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And that's been my way. I said, look, your dream is achievable, right? Your dream is possible. So don't back down. I didn't give up. I mean, people look at me and said, Vivian, you literally built this, like, because really there was nothing. I did this from scratch, you know. So what do you have? I always say, look within, what do you have? Is it, some people like talking. So how can you use that talking? How can you use it to change the world? Whatever you have in your hands, just truthfully and with discipline, daily, believe in yourself a little bit more. Yeah. That it is possible, and you will. I mean, it's never easy. I always say it will not come on a silver platter. If it comes on a silver platter, then it's not worth it. You always face challenges, but I always say, keep going. Once you have that big picture ahead, just keep that big picture and keep going. It's just one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. You will get there.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much. This was a lovely conversation. I really, really enjoyed it. And I know that those of you watching have enjoyed it and have been inspired by it and been touched. Don't just watch this and think, oh, this is nice. Support this cause, you know, with your time or money. Share it with your friends, share with your family, and use this for it to inspire you to do your own thing and change the world in your own way. Thank you so much for your time, Vivian. And I hope to come and visit you when I come down to Ghana by March. So hopefully I can see the talent show as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Rose. Really appreciate this.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Vivian and her story and her absolutely amazing journey. If you were touched by her story and wish to contribute, make sure that you click on the link here that I will leave in the description box, or comment here below, or send her an email directly if you want to support either financially or with your time as a volunteer to help, you know, with these young students. I would love that. If you like this video, click on the like button, share with a friend or two, and subscribe to this channel for more interesting and inspiring interviews if you haven't done so yet. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.